Hello. So a couple of days ago, I got this call from a close buddy of mine about a 123 he wanted to resurrect or rather save, and what he didn't tell me was that it was like 3 hours drive away from the city. So we had to travel a couple of 100 kilometers to get to their countryside just to go save the 123. So on this episode, we're gonna be trying to start this car. Hopefully, so the car hasn't run in a long time. So the car has been in his family for a long time, and he'd like to continue continue driving. It's basically a car that has been passed on from his grandfather to him, and so I'm here like doing what I do best, saving 123s all over the place, and yeah. So here we are trying to start the car. We have the liquids, just like I said. This car hasn't run maybe probably in the like five, probably 5 years. Well, the best thing about this car is that actually they never die. So it's a M115 engine, but it was a runner when it was parked. So his grandfather is very old now, so he doesn't drive anymore. And so here we are. Probably hopefully we can get the car started, and yes, hopefully we can get the car started, and maybe in a couple of days, maybe 2 days, drive it back to the city, and I'll help him sort out the car. So it is, I'd say it is still savable in a way. So it has a bit of rust going on, but I mean, it has sentimental value to him, so I think it is worth saving. And I mean, pretty much when it comes to 123s, basically they can be a bit of a rust bucket, but the right team and the right resources, you can pretty much bring any 123 back to life. So like I said, the engine runs, but I also noticed that the there's a bit of wiring issue because of the rats, the rodents that as you can see, the car has been left outside. So has a bit of the wiring has been messed up by the rodents, the rats. But that's easily fixable, because actually there's nothing. But basically the power points for the 123, basically it's not very complicated. It's something that we can, like, you can see we're trying to do the bit of wiring to start the car. And also the next step will be like maybe we sort out the braking, the brakes, and the oil, of course, the carburetor. We'll tune it again, tune it again. And also, like, now I think we also will need to use an external source for the fuel, because the tank is really rusted. And yes, that's another issue I noticed. But the radiator doesn't leak, luckily. It's actually still intact. And yes, and the car actually runs. But like we tried cranking the car, the keys have been lost. So as we tried to figure out how to hotwire the car back to life, basically yes. So it's an easy. So right now we're trying to hotwire the car. So yes, and hopefully drive it back to Nairobi. The interior situation in this car is a bit wanting. The exterior is so wanting, but everything is intact. You see that the radiator is still very clean, but doesn't leak. I think the water must have dried up because of being exposed to very harsh weather conditions outside for a long time. But there are no leaks. There are no fluid leaks anywhere. So the car is fixable, I believe. And now the other issue is figuring out if it's drivable. So I mean, that's the other part. But if any car can surprise you, that would be the 123, because I mean, these cars never die. They'll go on forever. The other part, what I noticed about this car is it's actually the M115, the 200. So I'm hoping the cylinder head, this car, the cylinder heads on the 115 are known to have a lot of issues. So I'm hoping the cylinder head doesn't have either issues with the gasket or anything. But we only know that we are going to know that once the car starts, and yes, and we see if there's overheating overheating or something like that. And like I said, we're in a very interior place, like it's approximately 300 kilometers away from the city. Took us about a couple of hours to drive here, like approximately 3 hours to drive here. And anything for the 123. I mean, I'm happy to be here to help my friend revive his grandfather's old Mercedes. And you can see it's a very arid area, and we brought our 123 for this adventure, and it was a really it was a really nice drive out of the town, very relaxing, and yeah, I mean, no regrets whatsoever. So now hopefully we can get this car back on the road, and hopefully it can drive back the 300 kilometers journey back home, hopefully. And but I'm very optimistic. We just need to go, like, sort out the tire situation. The tires had been removed. I mean, that was wise to remove the tires from this car. We just need to go fill in pressure on them, and then hopefully in a couple of hours or tomorrow, then we should be able to leave this place with the car. So I'm gonna be doing another video, maybe hopefully on the journey back home with the car and the adventures, basically, and yeah, what the adventures we come across as we're driving back home. Again, remember, this is a car we don't know much about, so it's only prudent that actually we should be very careful with how we go back, because now, I mean, the most important thing, of course, is the braking system, and the car. If the car doesn't overheat, I mean, that means we don't want to mess up the engine. Yes, so I'm gonna do a walk around the car video. It's a bit beat up, but it's workable. Nothing we can fix. I mean, we've worked on worse cars than this, so everything is intact. Like you can see, it's basically been exposed to a lot of harsh weather outside, but most of the parts that are missing on this car, even the moldings, the side moldings, are actually in the boot of this car. So it's a car that has sentimental value to my friend, and I'm very pleased to be able to walk this path with him of reviving his old grandfather's Mercedes W123. Actually, the interior, I mean, for a car that has been outside in these conditions, it's not too bad. It's easily fixable. So hopefully we can bring it back in a couple of months, and see if we can basically do a turnaround on this vehicle, and hopefully yeah, he'll be able to, like, also maybe pass it on to another generation. Okay, so yes, so it's been great being here. I mean, this is what we are up to, and hopefully, yes, many more adventures. And thank you for watching. Make sure you do subscribe, drop us a like and a share.